Our favorite champion and rival Nemona didn't appear in the Teall Mask DLC, but could her parents have made a sneaky entry into DLC at all? That's right, many people suspect that Nemona's parents are in the Teall Mask as Billy and Onair. But why? If you really look at the three of them, there's barely any resemblance at all. But despite that, people are pointing out that these three could be related. But is that even possible? Let's take a look. First of all, let's get the simplest point out of the way. The main reason why people have any thought of Nemona being related to these guys is because they're rich, and Nemona's parents are definitely rich. Upon entering her house in the very beginning of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you get to see that Nemona lives in a mansion and has everything a super rich family would. Maids and servants, crazy rich paintings, and parents who are so wealthy and busy that they're never around. Nemona even goes on to specifically mention her father during the end of the game in the Area Zero mission, and mentions that her father is actually the CEO of the Rotom Phone Company. But it seems as if, based off dialogue from one of the maids at her house, her mother is just as equally busy and wealthy. So with that being said, Billy and Onair actually check out quite well, as they're so rich that their names are the pun on the word billionaire. Yeah, just shove it in my face somewhere, why don't ya? But not only are Billy and Onair rich, but in terms of personality traits and habits, Nemona bears some similarities to both of them. For example, with Billy, Nemona has a super loud and enthusiastic personality that he has. Maybe the mannerisms aren't the same, but the tone of the energy comes off similar. While this next point may be weak, I have to mention it. She's also been shown to cross her arms, and while it's something that people do all the time, it's not so common in the Pokemon world, and Billy's often seen crossing his arms as well. But that really is as far as it goes with Billy. It's really Onair that brings certain aspects to our attention. Onair and Nemona's biggest connection is her love for battling. While Onair's biggest love seems to be money, battling is her second, which is good enough to be Nemona's mother. But on top of that, Nemona and Onair share a lot of similar physical gestures with one another. For example, they hold their hands to their face the same way, they clap their hands the same way, they laugh the same way, and Nemona is just as clueless as Onair as well. And physically, it's not too odd for Onair to be Nemona's mother if her father was different. But Billy as the father bears no resemblance whatsoever. And in fact, Billy as the father makes less sense unless there's something we don't know about him in Onair. You see, Nemona again mentioned her father to be the CEO of the Rotom Phone Company, not her mother, so he's probably richer or more popular than her. But when we see Billy and Onair, we usually see Onair be addressed with authority, leading me to think that between Billy and Onair, that Onair is the more significant one in terms of status and riches. She even mentions that she's the president of Paldea Realty, while Billy doesn't mention anything. So, what's the deal here? Are they her parents, or are they not? Well, I'm gonna pose three possible answers here. 1. The simplest answer is no, they're not her parents, and that these guys are just another rich couple who come from Paldea. The physical resemblances don't match, which is usually uncommon in Pokemon, and thus they're not related. 2. Yes, they are her parents, but instead of being her biological parents, they are her adoptive parents. This would explain the similarity in personality traits and gestures, and at the same time explain the drastic difference in physical appearance, checking out almost every possible question mark that we had earlier. And while it does work out really well, I do have a third and slightly wacky option, and that's that 3. Yes and no. Onair is the mother, but Billy is not the father. Now hold up, there's no need to call Murray for this. This is perfectly fine and explainable. Let's look at it like this. Onair is similar to Nemona, it's just Billy throwing us off. But to Nemona, her father seems to be more significant with him being the CEO of the Rotom Phone Company. And Billy over here makes no mention of anything of the sort. Billy also seems to be a lot younger, possibly with Onair having gray hair and addressing her so formally. But this honestly is hard to tell and is debatable. But assuming that Billy is younger and or not Onair's partner, I reckon that he may be her personal secretary or bodyguard, following her around as she is the president of Paldea Realty, and that she might have another husband elsewhere going on other trips as well. This would also explain why Billy and Onair talk to each other so formally, and why Billy has to explain everything to Onair. But isn't the whole pun that their names together mean billionaire? Yeah, that's true, but why can't she have a husband that's named Trilly for trillionaire, you know what I mean? What do you guys think? Between options 1, 2, and 3, what do you think the relationship is to Nemona? You're gonna have to let me know down in the comments down below. But from where I stand, it's hard to tell, but personally, I really rather go the third route, even if it's most likely to be wrong. I just think it'd be very funny and give the whole fandom quite the shock. But honestly, I'm really not sure. Of course, I would love to see Nemona's parents, but have we actually seen them yet? I don't know. I'm just gonna sit back and wait to find out in the Indigo Disc. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you over on the next video, alright? Later!